The SDR-AE handoff is one of the most timeless conversations that's out there in sales. It will always be that way. It'll always be something that people focus on. How do we make this better? I think that there's two different ways that you could actually go and create a really seamless SDR-AE handoff, but it's a matter of style and preference on what you're trying to do, right? For instance, perhaps you're in consultative sales. Okay, something that's a long sales cycle, it takes a long time to get someone ready to rock and have a meeting with you. You're most likely not going to have what's called a hot handoff, right? That's that moment where you get someone on the phone, they're talking to you, and they're like, you know what, I'm ready, let's take a demo right now. That probably doesn't happen in consultative sales. In fact, in my 10 years experience, it probably hasn't happened on any of the teams that I've been a part of either in the consultative sales cycle. But what does happen in that moment is a lot of information is gathered by the SDR in a consultative environment. When you get that key decision maker on the phone, you're learning a lot of information. You're learning about who the authority subjects are. You're learning about a key need or impact that business is having, right? If you don't know what I'm talking about, please go see one of the other sessions that we have talked about where we're talking about impact. That being said, you've probably had either of those things happen. But now you need to understand how you're going to take that information that you've gathered as an SDR and ensure a seamless transition to your AE counterpart. How are they getting all that information? And on top of it, what are you going to do as an AE once you have it, right? Really important stuff. So the very first thing you need to do is have a really good conversation between your AE and SDR with great expectations set. What does the AE need in order to conduct a great demo? What does the SDR need to go and get so that the AE can do that? On top of that, what is the SDR supplying to the AE in advance of the call? I've been a part of teams where a comprehensive document's been filled out with a lot of different information for those conversations. I've also been a part of it where it's just a Slack message. So it's really a matter of style. Okay? The second process that you could go with is where it's more of a transactional sale. In a transactional sale, you're on the phone a lot. You're engaging with a ton of emails. You're engaging with a ton of social content, maybe even a lot of videos. It's actionable, it's nonstop, it's impactful, and here's what the thing is, right? It gets to the point where you get someone on the phone that's ready to have a conversation now. That's called a hot handoff. And when you're doing a hot handoff, you have merely seconds to get that prospect over from the SDR to your AE. So how does that handoff become smooth? How does that transition look? You need to have a core couple of pieces of information that everyone's agreed upon is necessary in order to have the conversation. That's first. Second, your SDR cannot go deep into a discovery. Think about this for a minute. If your SDR takes a long time doing a large-scale discovery with a prospect and they get deep into the weeds into someone's pain, then they hand off that conversation to an AE in the form of maybe a hot handoff, what's going to happen is your AE is going to start from the beginning and they're going to have deep conversation again, the same conversation at that, making the customer repeat themselves and ultimately being responsible for a poor customer experience, which is not what anybody actually wants. So it means that you need to have a crisp, detailed few key points that SDR needs to convey over to the AE in order to have that conversation continue seamlessly. Two different ways: consultative, transactional. You need to define what your business is, you need to define what those core pieces are, and then ensure all parties are talking. Do that, you're going to create synergy that is going to last the lifetime of your sales cycle.